Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from everyone's favorite Halo YouTuber. It's been a while since my last upload and man, there has been a lot of news since then. We did finally get a release date for Halo Infinite, which is December 8th if you've been living under a rock, and that is exciting, but we also learned a lot of bad news regarding the game. We learned that Halo Infinite will be launching without Forge and co-op campaign, aka the game won't be finished at launch. And we also learned that you won't be getting XP simply from playing multiplayer games. You're only getting XP from completing challenges. This is similar to other Battle Pass systems like Fortnite or Apex, at least when they originally came out. I'm not sure if they changed since then. I've been really busy lately and I haven't really had a chance to talk about any of this, and honestly, the bad news has really been killing my hype for the game. I'm not necessarily mad about no co-op campaign or Forge at launch. I'm a little more upset about the XP thing, but it's the bigger picture that's really killing my vibe right now. This bad news we've been getting is more of an indicator as to how the game is going as a whole, and it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Let's break it down, shall we? So starting with the game launching without co-op campaign or Forge. They delayed the game an entire year. Decided to launch the game in December, which, let's just face it, is not the date they wanted to ship this game at, and they still won't be finishing the game before it ships. That is a bad sign for Halo Infinite as a whole. As I've said before, I'm mostly a multiplayer guy, but some of my favorite Halo memories are co-oping the campaign with 2 or 4 people and just like beating the game in one sitting. But with co-op coming 3 months after launch, am I still going to be interested in playing the campaign by then? With the community talking about the campaign after it comes out, I feel like I'll probably end up just seeing spoilers, and by then I'll know the story anyway. Might end up not even playing it. Forge isn't coming for 6 months after launch. Sounds like Halo 5 Round 2 to me. Although I think Forge came 3 months after launching Halo 5, I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, doesn't matter. The point is, Forge is a huge tool for community involvement, between players creating awesome maps and game types, and with Halo Infinite on PC, there are so many possibilities with custom games. But without it, 343 needs to just hope and pray the game's good enough that people are still interested in playing Halo Infinite 6 months after launch. At that point, casual players tend to move on, to whatever new AAA game comes out. They can't be bothered to jump back in and play an old game. 343's willingness to launch an incomplete game just gives me deja vu of MCC. It's ready when it's ready. Everyone was waiting and waiting for each game, and then 343 hits a wall where they realize it's just taking too long. They end up rushing out Halo 2 Classic and it's a complete disaster. Does anyone remember that? I mean, we did flight tests. They made a bunch of changes and didn't reflight the game. Halo 2 was a complete disaster when it dropped on PC. And that's kinda how it feels like what's happening with Halo Infinite. We still haven't gotten a PvP flight, and it seems like by the time we do, they either won't have time to fix any issues, or they'll try and rush fixes that don't get flighted again, and the game could launch completely broken. Even after 6 years, it just feels like everything's being rushed. They're launching the game incomplete so they can just be like, hey, we didn't delay the game again, it came out in holiday 2020, don't be mad at us. And no one really wins. There's no way 343 or Microsoft looked at the calendar and said, yup, December 8th, perfect. No, they picked a date to avoid other releases and made it as late as they could possibly make it into the holiday season. At this rate, I'm gonna die of a heart attack or brain aneurysm before the game comes out anyway. Might as well delay Halo Infinite 6 months and launch the full game. It's a free-to-play multiplayer anyway, so it's not like they're relying on holiday sales. Most people that buy the campaign probably have Game Pass anyway, too, so who's even buying this game? Delay the game, release everything in a complete package, flighted heavily so we have no issues at launch. You only have one chance to make a good first impression. Now, moving on to the XP debacle. It just seems like every time 343 seems to understand Halo fans and what they want, they go and do something like this. And totally blow it! Like, come on guys, progression is what keeps people playing your game. Why not have the Battle Pass separate from an XP based ranking system like Halo Reach or my personal favorite, Halo 3? I don't think it's the biggest issue as long as the ranking system for ranked play is good, but people that don't play Halo to sweat their nuts off need something to grind for too. And we want military ranks, not a stupid number next to our name trying to teach us how to count to 152. We're all a bunch of nerds here. We'll spend hundreds of hours for a dumb little emblem next to our name as long as it looks cool. But this looks like it's gonna be a generic level 1 to 100 battle pass where you have to do tedious challenges just to progress. Stupid challenges that I don't want to do, but my ADD forces me to complete every single one because I'm compensating for my parents never loving me. Just kidding, I have very loving parents, but you get the point. I just hate the idea of playing 8 hours a day and getting very little XP because I didn't want to go into Action Sack and play 5 match-made games of Ground Pound Arena or whatever wacky custom games are in Halo Infinite Action Sack. Oh wait, there won't be any because there's no Forge at launch! I think I've made my point here. At the end of the day, do these features not being there at launch mean the game is gonna fail? No, not necessarily. But the fact that 343 is missing the mark is very telling about the project as a whole. And it's really concerning. At least to me, let me know if you guys agree. At the end of the day, I want this game to succeed. And I would hate to do another Halo release where it's a year later, they finally added all the content that should have been there at launch, and we're all like, wow, if the game launched like this, Halo would be at the top again, while there's only like 10,000 of us still playing. Until next time, later.